Hi, my name is Ariel from the Children of Karma, and today I'd like to discuss Venus and Uranus aspects. Venus is how we give and receive love. It's a very relationship-focused planet, so this will impact our relationships and how we bond with another. And Uranus is that detached, cold planet that brings chaos and change, innovation, independence. So it's focused on independence while Venus is focused on trying to create harmony within its relationship. So these planets, typically don't go well together. There's an awareness of how people want to be loved with that Uranus can be very intuitive. It's focused on the mental, the spiritual, while Venus is focused on emotional, physical connection. Sometimes these relationships can be very erratic. Maybe you call in relationships that are very erratic, that are unreliable too. These could be even cheaters because they like independence, and not to be tied down. Venus also represents beauty, aesthetics, and Uranus being different. It's beauty standards outside of the norm. Maybe this person values the unique, the different, the unconventional. Can be a little strange. An inventor, something different. Aesthetics, it makes me think of aesthetic healing because Uranus can sometimes act out in health issues. I've used aesthetic healing throughout my recovery, and it's definitely added. Those little things can really add to your emotional. It adds to your environment, and when your environment is beautiful and at peace, and it can promote peace just visually, I think we know by now, like the visual, these aesthetics, they have a certain impact on how we feel, our perception within, our mood. We can see something that maybe invigorates, excites us, uplifts us, and something that maybe calms us, maybe allows us to think more introspectively. And it's through color, through the use of color. It's actually interesting because I learned through Johann Goethe about the color spectrum and the impact that it has on human perception, and what those colors can do to create certain human emotion within. Based on this color spectrum. It's very interesting. Theory of Color is a good book. I used color through makeup throughout my recovery in order to uplift myself, uplift my, if you're dealing with a certain circumstance where you just have to tough it out and wait, it takes time to heal, and you can't get around the time. But you have to uplift yourself, encourage yourself so that you can continue to strive, through that chaos. You need to uplift yourself, your mood. You need to make sure that your mood can carry you through to the next moment, whatever that moment will be, just to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. It's longevity, thinking long term. It's just adding those little sweet, soft touches. They helped just a little, and that got me through the day to the next moment, to the next moment. I think we often dismiss the value of these things, that it's more than just how beautiful something is. It's about how it makes you feel, the feelings that it gives you within. To choose beauty, being from such a structured childhood, even, this Uranus can also imply some breaking free of that structure, using art, breaking free of that old structure that, maybe you had in the childhood. Venus can even be mother, maybe the mother also influences the style, the way that you give and receive love as well. Using that beauty as a way to heal, but also with Uranus finding the meaning, through the aesthetics, seeing, it's really just about living life with intention and seeing that everything has a meaning, you know, even color, and that you can use the color. It's like, this is free, you know, you can use the color to heal yourself. It's like higher dimensional thoughts through aesthetics, you know. A lot of people think that there is no value, or they diminish the value of that. It's so small, but I noticed that those small things really add up to something. Sometimes it's really just about surviving, giving yourself the time to heal, but throughout that time, making your space beautiful. You know, the Venus Uranus will make the environment beautiful. You know, they show love differently, you know, this aspect, and maybe they show their love through creating a nice beautiful environment. With Uranus can be technology. I used to show my love through song. You know, the song that I would send, it's like listen to the meaning, listen to the lyrics, please. Not everyone understands it though. Not everyone can receive the kind of love that you're trying to give. You need someone like a little bit more open-minded, that thinks a little bit differently. Maybe even someone that, I would say someone that can understand symbolic language, even the free thinker, the open-minded thinker, a philosopher, an inventor, someone that can spark these energies within you. Because whatever we're seeking in another, in relationship wise with Venus, it's always something that we value within, and something that we always carry within anyway. So it's like the people we call in are just meant to awaken something within us. But if you can awaken it yourself, then that's the point where Uranus will detach and, you know, be self. Sometimes even with this aspect, you can find someone that's always contradicting things. You know, they're always, even if they believe or agree with what you're saying, once they know that you agree, it's like, well, no, now I change my mind. I have to be different. I have to say something else, you know? I have to be a part of my own group. Yeah, so there are going to be moments with this aspect that you're not going to be able to give love, not be able to receive it either. It's going to be in those detached moments, and we have to get better at kind of reading them. They're not all the time. You're going to have moments where you're more Venus and that you're going to want to get along and harmonize with others and be more agreeable, right? But you're going to have those moments where you want to be alone. And you need them, actually, because if you are one of these kind of creator, thinker minds, then we need you to think. We need you to spend time doing that. Explore one of those passions and look for groups of people who are also interested in this. And find your relationships there. You know, they may be more of your speed. They may know just how much affection you need, and also know how to read your detached phases as well, because maybe they have this within too. You know, I think explore those passions, because that's really what drives us to where we belong. And I think take it easy on yourself also when you're having these detached moments. It's okay. It's sometimes some of those Venus energies can take over, and that Uranus is trying to settle us and ground us as well, because it does have that structured side. So sometimes it's trying to bring us back down to earth, or hello, wake up. You know, in your chase for beauty, maybe you've lost the plot, you know, you've lost the reality of the situation. So it's sometimes about balancing both energies too, and allowing people to be who they are. You know, not everyone is going to be who you want them to be, and you don't want to be who everyone wants you to be either. You want to be your own person. So that also means that you have to release some control too, and allow other people to be who they are. Thank you for joining me for this video, and I'd love to see you at thechildrenofkarma.com so we can explore your ancestral patterns. Don't forget to like the video. Bye.